Hey everyone, hope you guys are all home and safe. Those of you who've gotten snow, a couple feet of snow. For those of you who are familiar with my continued fight with the state of New Jersey, one of the things that I had not shared so far was that I suffer from chronic migraines and occipital bilateral neuralgia, all at the hands of DYFS workers. My lawsuit filed in 2015 was an injury case, which actually started in 2012. So imagine having a 30-year successful business. 30 years, imagine what you've done in 30 years. And government agents from New Jersey were permitted to come into my establishment for retaliatory purposes because a parent/DYFS worker, Helen E. from TNAC, was upset because I did not agree with her that her children were too beautiful to discipline, her two poorly behaved children that caused me to lose business because of their behavior. And in retaliation, she and her co-workers began to harass me in 2012. And I found out about this because Helen E., in all her arrogance, posted it on social media. And it dated back to exactly when my harassment began. And she posted her name, Helen E. So my lawsuit was myself versus Department of Children and Families, Helen Emmon, Sharonda Clark, who is a sister, Jennifer Thiel, Jalissa Stubnicki, Antoinette Mahan, Marilyn Weiss, and somebody else I've forgotten. But they were permitted to come into my business and harass me to the point where the stress caused me a chronic and debilitating illness that I'm not even sure what it is at this point. I filed a lawsuit. A white judge unlawfully dismissed my case. He backdated documents. He used an unpublished article, and he told me that my period was the cause of my migraines. He ignored the testimony of 3 doctors that gave medical expert testimony, sworn affidavits. The judge completely dismissed that, in addition to the fact that these inspectors came into my business from 2013. The harassing visits actually began. The telephone calls were harassing in 2012. So from then until now, case got dismissed in 2018. I had hired an attorney for a couple of months who did absolutely nothing. His name is Jared Geist, and he will be dealt with also because I have time before the statute of limitations run out. He didn't go to not one court hearing, said that he did. I have all the email. And when I took the case back over myself, I was completely discriminated against. The judge used discriminatory verbiage during my hearings, misogynistic verbiage during my hearings. I filed a complaint against him that went nowhere. My old neurologist in Hackensack, Dr. Solanke in Hackensack, allegedly, and this is all alleged in my opinion, even though I do have facts to back up my statements, I have legal documents. This agency not only destroyed my business, but they destroyed my health. I come from a gene pool of longevity. Grandmother lived until 100. My great-grandmother lived until 103. My father just passed away at 91, not due to anything but negligence. My mother's alive at 91. And here I am at 54 with all of these debilitating problems because these white privileged women were able to get away with it. Not to mention that after they won the case was dismissed in June, after trying to reopen my business from COVID, stressed out because I was opening and I was going to be responsible for the teachers who work under my care as well as the children. 2 more white inspectors, Kim O'Connell and Teresa Rosanair, came to my business and ignored social distancing policies as implemented by the governor of New Jersey. They came into my business and they were supposed to come for a couple of minutes. That's the notice that we got prior to opening. 15 minutes. I contacted other centers in the area, white centers. They came to them for 15 minutes and they did a COVID inspection to check to make sure that they were following COVID rules. They came to my business in my absence and stayed for over an hour in a dark room with 2 of my teachers while 15 children slept. And they stood there and they stood on top of my teachers. They didn't take their temperature upon entering and they didn't wash their hands. And my teachers were not aware that they were supposed to do that because I didn't think that I had to say to them, oh, this is what's going to happen. I'm assuming that they are going to follow by protocol, the best health protocol. And they did not. And they could have exposed the children in my care and the staff to COVID. All of my teachers have underlying conditions, as do I. I contacted the governor with no response. I contacted our black female, Sheila Oliver, Lieutenant Governor, who is worthless. And her office told me that she doesn't handle such matters. Oh, I don't know what we have her there for. And again, we continue to vote for these black folks who are useless. I contacted the NAACP, spoke to their white attorney. Do you know what he said to me? He asked me if anybody got COVID. And I told him no. He said, well, he couldn't help me. So it's okay for these inspectors to come to my business, disregard the health and safety of my children, and as long as nobody got COVID. In addition to the fact they didn't even do a COVID inspection. So that means that their continuation of harassment and retaliatory behavior put the students at risk because they're not even checking to make sure that I have everything in place, although they knew that I did. But they didn't inspect that. They did a completely different inspection for me than they did everyone else. They made up inspections, all fabricated, because they knew that my COVID inspections were in place. So I'm just saying that, we talk about systemic racism all the time. I am a straight victim. I have been self-employed for 30 years. Imagine building a business from the ground over a period of 30 years. My first center, I gave to one of my teachers. I didn't sell it to her. I gave it to her because I knew if I closed, the little black and brown children who were attending there would not have anywhere to go. I gave it to her, which illustrates the contributions that I've made to this industry, of which I'm clearly overqualified. I wouldn't do this if I didn't care about the children. So I'm just saying this to tell you all who are not from the area to know what's happening here in New Jersey. And I'm going to continue to use this platform. I can't get justice anywhere. The judicial system here is corrupt. The government agencies are corrupt. I have documentation from Teaneck Health Department showing that Maria Altamirano, allegedly, which is another inspector that I tried to add to my complaint, posed as being a parent. She claimed to be a parent to contact the health department to make false claims against me. I have that. Statements from the fire department. Fire chief called and told me that, you're right, they are after you. They've been calling here to try to get me to make up false violations against you. So I'm here just saying, if there's anybody out there, and I know that there are many Black center owners in the area with whom I've spoken who've had similar problems but are scared to death to come forward. So I'm just going to continue to have my voice heard until I get justice, because I am still being harassed even after they won. Even after they won. I'm still not getting explanations as to why the police came to my center on 9 occasions. 2 big officers with guns and uniforms. 9 times. And then they just stopped. The Assistant Attorney General was fired. Beth Felici. Fired from the state, allegedly. She was involved with the police coming to my center, and I still have not gotten any explanation as to why I warranted that. If I warranted 2 police over a 9-month period, I should have been shut down. Any judge anywhere would have shut me down. But then everything just stopped. And everything has stopped, and we're all supposed to go back to normal, and I'm not going to. I'm going to be stuck right in 2013 until I get some answers. And nobody can give me answers. So if anybody has any connections to anyone, I'm going to make this work, and I know I am. Because I built my business with nothing. No grants. I have been completely independently operated, which is what they hate too. They hate to see me working independently and not coming to them. The Black woman, allegedly, and this is all in legal transcripts, I'm saying allegedly and I'm saying in my opinion, I have all proof to back this up. She'd been working for this agency for a week. My business was the first business that she came to inspect, and she chose to get on the bandwagon with her white co-workers to tear down my business. So I'm just saying that I'm not going away. We're not going to end this like nothing happened. After New Jersey Department of Children and Families tore down my business, it's a go. And I'm not ending. And I'm going to continue to talk about you. And I'm going to continue to talk about Sheila Oliver, Miss Black's sister. So I'm just saying, with all, just normal life stressors, this is what I have to deal with. In addition to now a debilitating illness that causes me to sit in a dark room because the snow is so bright. And I love the sunlight and I love brightness. This is how this has affected my life. So I just wanted to share that with you all. Again, in my opinion, allegedly. But I have legal transcripts. I got legal documents supporting everything that I've said. And I have witnesses. I have witness testimonies, affidavits, sworn. So I just wanted to share with you. Thank you for listening. Be safe out there.